Welcome to the 11th edition of the XRC Anushandhan Lecture Series. The Xavier Research Colloquium have traversed a long path since its inception, and here we are trying to dabble with maybe the most important debate in the years to come. The water dilemma or the water debate. Where is the will? And we have with us today Reverend Father Dr. S. Xavier to broach before you the greatest plight facing human race at large. Father Xavier is the HOD of Environmental Studies and the Vice Principal of BCom Morning. He was also the International Exchange Program Professor of Santa Clara University, California, USA, and held the Donald McLean Chair of St. Joseph's University, Philadelphia, USA. Needless to say, he holds a PhD in environmental science, and his research is on demographic status and epidemiological pattern, a study on environmental impacts of arsenic-affected population in West Bengal. He has written numerous research articles in international journals and books. So now I would like to request Father to kindly take over the proceedings.
I have titled my talk today based on the latest research. I would use even today's data in the newspaper, the data point of Hindu, to make it a point that water is a debating point or a dilemma point. And I will supplement with two case studies. The most important water retention resources of our country is converted into an urbanized Rajarhat, urbanized atmosphere, urbanized science city, J.W. Marriott. And then we call it a point to say that we don't have drinking water today. Okay? So that's how I'm going to first, in my presentation, establish the fact that there is a water crisis looming over the nation and also looming over the world. Within the world, I will take one case study, which is mainly Cape Town case study, where they have reached zero water point level. And then to India, I will take the most drought hit district in Maharashtra, Marathwada district or Latur district, the case study point to debate upon. So first we establish that there is a water crisis looming over. This water crisis is not just in terms of quantity, how much is present, but it's also in terms of quality, what it is, if it is available. Next, what it is quality. That quality water we are giving to somebody called transnational corporations, who take it away from us, our own resource, and then they sell it back to us with an enormous price tag. So that's how I will be emphasizing this talk. It will be data oriented, therefore it will interest you. The first debating point about water is vodka plus water injures kidney, rum plus water injures liver, whiskey plus water injures heart, gin plus water injures brain. Now where is the debating point? Something is wrong with water. There is one word discussing about that quality of water. The next quality, remember the grandma story. To improve my digestion, I drink beer, loss of appetite, I drink white wine, blood pressure, I drink red wine, and if I could have cold, I drink whiskey or brandy. So the grandchild asked, when do you have water? So the grandma said, thank God, I never had such a serious illness called to have water. Now this is the debating point. A doctor will always ask us, how much water do you drink? When we tell him that we are suffering from dehydration. This may not happen, this debating point too. He who drinks sleeps. He who sleeps commits no sin. Therefore, who does not sin is holy. Therefore, one who drinks is holy. That's another debating point going on. But I want to take you to this particular disaster called water. Just look at last 1980 to 2015. In 25 years term, the highest number of disasters that have occurred is due to water. And the data shows mainly meteorological events, within that hydrological events. So meteorological, mainly the weather disaster, and within that we have maximum the water related issues. And to prove the latest Fani, you remember, month of May, it shook us all, including Odisha. Luckily we escaped. Okay, it crossed through. So look at last 15 years, if you take 25, now almost 2020 we are reaching. Look at the number of water disasters. All were water resources for us. That's what I mean to say. Where is the debating point? We had enough water resources in the form of thunder showers, in the form of cloud bursts. But where did we leave them? Now today we are forming Jal Shakti team. Okay? So we are often shaken up by the number of disasters, both water related. Look at the colossal waste that has gone because of the natural disaster in terms of economic outcome, last 10 years average. How many $1 million? And here almost we have lost $275 billion in 2012 alone. Okay? So that's economically. Within all the disaster, in spite of the lightning deaths, we also have the flood deaths. So the debating point here is water. And if you call it flood alone, just look at the number of people who have lost their homes and became environmental refugees. 9.5 million people each year. Almost 10 million. Okay. So that's the background. Year after year, I'll show you the latest data from NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Association, which tells us we are to face more hotter days. And last 5 hottest years, July has been from 2015 to 2019. Okay, so thirst increases. It's the thirsty world. What we are left with one drop, though we got plenty. That's what we say, water, water everywhere, not a drop. That drop only I'm going to talk about, because out of all that water available to us as 100%, one drop out of that 100% is what is reachable by us, accessible by us, quality to be consumed by us. So that drop, within that drop, it is 0.007% is reaching our hands, our tap. If you want to know what is our tap water resources coming back, you'll know. So the agriculture is thirsty, taking away the 0.07%. Industry is thirsty. We are thirsty. And therefore, look at India's situation. 54% of India in high, extremely water stressed regions. So the debating point is no water, drought, excess water, flood. Both I will establish. Then we will see where are we going wrong to have that as our resource. Okay? So 54% of the world, our nation. Look at in a woman's life how many million hours is spent on carrying water alone. 200 million hours, as if a woman started with her empty bucket in the Stone Age and didn't arrive home with water until 2016. That's the number of hours spent for carrying water in month of March, April, May together, all the more. India, look at. In India, when drinking water had to be fetched from a distance, females performed this task in 84% of the rural household and 72% of urban households, carrying water alone. So that's about quantity. But there can be no alternative to drinking water. From 0 to 5, our drinking is milk. 5 to 15 may be Pepsi and Coca-Cola. 15 to 55 may be a hot drink. But then after 55, this is our eternal drink, isn't it? But there is no alternative to water. So that's the point. Even it is going to, I'll give you the case study of Delhi last year. Within Delhi, Ghaziabad area, what happened?
पानी की ये मुठभेड़ कई बार घातक साबित होती है। उस्मान नगर में ऐसी ही एक दुर्घटना का शिकार हुआ 14 साल का सुनील कौड़े। पानी के लिए मची भगदड़ में टैंकर के पहिए तले कुचला गया सुनील का सर।
ये बच्चे लोग ऐसे रोड पे खड़े होते, वहां जाके देख रहे तो पूरा भेजा पैर चले गया उसके ऊपर से। उसको उठा के लिए तो पूरा खोपड़ी उल्टी गिरी थी उसकी।
2 साल पहले घटी इस दर्दनाक घटना को याद कर आज भी सुनील की मां का दिल भर आता है। पानी की किल्लत ने एक मासूम की जान ले ली।
हर साल कोई ये घटना घटती, कोई सा तो भी आदमी तो भी मरता, बच्चा तो भी मरता, औरत तो भी मरती। पानी नहीं है तो पानी रहने के बाद कोई मरता है।
So that is when we don't have water, we have lost a life. This was last year summer, 2017. This 2019 summer we had 73 dams out of 91 going dry. 71 dams going dry, and then luckily we had a late monsoon only in some pockets of the states where it has come to surplus. I'll show you which coast has received the surplus level. Okay. So this is in spite of we having the rain capital of the world. Look at Cherrapunji. 1973 to 2012, 40 years average was highest in the world. How much was the rainfall? Remember, 11,859.4 millimeter rainfall. 1974 it had a yearly average. Okay, 24-hour average was highest. Now look at 83 days of rainfall, and within that 54 days of monsoon. India has 18% of the world's population to share that water resource, which is 4% of the global water resources. That's not hand-to-mouth situation. It is a drought situation to mouth situation. So that's the reality. But look at the consumption of resource water, mainly Africa, where the Nile River is source. They have 47 liter per person available, but USA is using almost 600 liter per person. Look at the water availability now globally. It has gone down, which was 6,500 cubic meter per person to 1,545 cubic meter per person. So where is the lion's share going? Maximum in the agricultural sector. Okay. So if that is the case, what happens to the water table depth? This year you know what happened in Chennai. For almost 2 months, water was carried by trains from Vellore to Chennai, which is almost 6-hour distance or 4-hour distance to carry water. We remember the Latur story 2 years ago. The IPL match was stopped in Mumbai for the Latur people to get water. Which water? The water which could have been used to make the cricket pitch ready for everyday match. So that's the story. So our water table depth has gone drastically down between 1947, our India's independence, to now. If you go here to 350 feet also, you're not sure whether you will get sweet water or saline water. So saline water intrusion has gone higher. Look at the water by tap reaching. What is the percentage do you think? National average. What is the percentage you think? By tap in the house. How many percentage of India would have received? Ganges is next to Bengal, but you will be surprised with the percentage. What is the percentage receive water from the tap source? Bengal, only 11% people receive tap water source. All the union territories have received higher number of percentage. If you take the national average, it is only 30% of India receives water through tap source, which means at home I receive. I don't need to take a bucket out. So what happened to the rest 70%? Remember that number of years that I showed in the form of Stone Age? That's the percentage going to. Okay. What is our water resources going to be? We have major resources both, so surface level and underground level. Both are at a shrinking level. That is irrespective of having the thunder shower the highest in 100 years Kerala experienced. This year Maharashtra has experienced last 60 years what they did not have. This year they had enough water. Not enough, surplus water. But yet, look at our scenario 2050 for surface water, what is the percentage, cubic kilometer, and in groundwater, what is going to be the cubic kilometer average available to us. Okay. This is the latest story of 2019, the dry run. When we began the monsoon in June, look at which are the states which were experiencing drought. Okay, largely deficient, that is minus 60%. So close to 72% of the country's districts received less than normal rainfall the first 20 days of the ongoing monsoon. So if you look at the picture of water resources this 2019 in June, this was the story. So that's the dry run for us. Okay, what is the transition now? Look at the transition that the central government has taken the Jal Shakti team. There's a separate ministry now. Earlier it was water ministry, now it has become Jal Shakti ministry. What are they supposed to do? Make sure that every water conservation devices in the country is active again, dynamic again. What we had done up with? We done up with to build apartments. So where did the water resources go? Straight into the river or to the sea. So therefore we had to face that dry run. Not because we didn't have enough rainfall, we had enough rainfall. Sometime more than the last 50 years that we didn't have. But what happened? We ran into. So this is what the initiative is. That today's lecture is because of these people's initiative. Jal Shakti Ministry asking us, what have you done from your higher education institution about water conservation? Okay? Look at, so this is what the story. This is today's paper, September 11, 2019. Which are the coastal regions had enough rainfall? Rather 60% of higher. Okay, so in 6 years, the highest amount is received already by Goa and Maharashtra. But look at the dry districts are always from Maharashtra, the Latur and Marathwada district. But look, this year they had enough rainfall. Look at both this red and blue color denotes to the districts within Maharashtra and Goa. What is the average rainfall? We are supposed to have 1200 national average. How much they had already? 3000 millimeter rainfall. So how do we say? We run dry. Okay, so that's the debating point today. What we have done with the surplus. Immediate relief, we sent it to the rivers, sent it to the seas. But later, month of January, our life is a 90 days life of monsoon. Within that 53 days or 50 days it may rain. What happens throughout the year? 366 days. So we have surplus but we have not conserved it enough. So therefore everybody talks about whether we will face situation like oil. You ask the people of Chennai, they will say this summer water was costlier than their petrol prices. They had to buy. They had to buy. Okay? So now we have the universal declaration which says each individual is supposed to have sufficient amount, safe amount, acceptable, physically accessible and affordable amount. As per each one, we are supposed to receive water freely. We are not supposed to pay. Basic right is free. Free water. But till 70% of India doesn't get drinking water in the tap resource. Where do they go? Okay? So that's our scenario. So we are facing the dry run, few drops only for the future, and the enigma about how this largesse of nature is only available to us in drops. That continues for the future generation. Okay? So where is the answer? Let's go about. We are going to find the answer now. Look at the global average of water deficiency, minus 55. The change from 1962. Look at India's average, minus 64. For higher than? So that's our position now. Next, we talk about quality. I so far talked to you about quantity. We move on to the quality. 1 in 5 don't have access to safe drinking water. And the United Nations says every 15 seconds we are losing a child dying of water-related disease. And look at our water samples of the capital, which comes. Look at the sample. Every 100 ml we are supposed to have nil bacteria. But look at the sample, total coliform of Palla, Nizamuddin and Yamuna aquifer. This may be during the rainy season. If you take in month of May, April, the count may be different. Yamuna is only a sewer during month of April, May. So this is total fecal, all the more dangerous. But that's what we are. So when it happens, then every 15 seconds one child goes because of the water related diseases. So quality is also not safe. So we move on, look at the latest report. 37.7 million Indians are affected by waterborne diseases, mainly because of the bacterial intrusion. And now, of late is the plastic case story. That's another lecture I can take on the plastic water bottle alone. So, look at, so where do we look for? So, quality-wise, even in Bengal, the underground water is not safe. Because surface water, Ganga is filled with bacteria, we go for underground water. Underground water is with arsenic. Okay, and look at within Calcutta, which are the zone for arsenic, within Calcutta city. Then the impacts of arsenic on the human beings, this was my research photo from South 24 Parganas. Look at the individuals of Bankura and one more district, dry district there. No, Birbhum is Purulia. So Bankura, Purulia, Birbhum with fluoride. That is one in terms of quality. Now who is making this quantity of water less? Just look at a factor called climate change. That's what the scientists know. But I will show you another scientist next, just contradicting this view. Look at the diagram of 1880. What is the condition? India in which color? Blue color. So that same India, look at in 2017. Okay, observe. So change of years here. Look at especially after 1980s, the water availability situation, which is made dry run by a factor called global warming. So we are reaching 80. Look at the color combinations. This is by NASA. Okay, so I have till 2017. If I come to 2017, it will be all reddish in color. Okay. Now just the opposite is the claim by our scientists. Just look at this claim, then I will explain to you what is the actual global warming happening or not.
We in Assam feel very concerned about climate change and its consequences. So, how can you help and guide us to protect our pristine environment?
देखिए आज छोटे छोटे बालक भी क्लाइमेट चेंज और एनवायरमेंट चेंज की चर्चा कर रहे हैं।
This is मन की बात।
70, 80, 85, 90 साल के लोग तो सर्दियों में आप देखेंगे तो अक्सर कहते हैं कि पिछली बार से इस बार सर्दी ज्यादा है, ऐसा कहते हैं ना। एक्चुअली सर्दी ज्यादा नहीं है, उनकी उम्र बढ़ने के कारण उनकी सहने की शक्ति कम हो गई है। वैसे ही ये क्लाइमेट चेंज नहीं हुआ है, हम चेंज हो गए।
So that's the scientist story. Now actual science I come to. Look at the amount of water resources and the greenhouse gases increase, which I ran through in a small video. I'm showing year by year till 2017 maybe. Okay, so look at the color here which you saw earlier. So this is the actual story. Now this is the latest as of September 9, today is September 11. Look at the greenhouse gas in the form of ppm, which allowed limit is 350, the maximum level. 300 less is better. We have crossed. Okay, so now this crossing has involved plus 0.95 degrees centigrade till 2018 somewhere. 2019 July, hottest summer here. Okay, 409 we have already achieved. See, 409. How can we say it is related to age? It's a scientific proof, isn't it? Nobody can deny. This is from latest. If you click co2now.org, you will get the data. So this is of September 9th. We move on to September 11th, the latest. What has happened is now an average of plus 0.95 degrees centigrade from 1880. And we cannot bear. What is the Paris Climate Summit deal? We should fight for climate increase below 1.5. 0.95 we cannot bear. 0.95 is the overall increase from 1880s period, which I showed you. This itself has led to this much of water disaster. Now what will happen if it is going beyond 1 plus degree? Plus 1 degree. So let's see. So that's what is happening. Look at, we have crossed that 0.95 this July 2019. How much have we crossed? 1.2 degrees centigrade. So this July 2019 was the hottest year from 1880. 1904 was the coldest year. 2019 was the hottest July. And this is the scientific data. If you get the data point, this is as per on August. I have the date, I have the paper cutting also. Okay, so what has happened? Our water resources, which we thought as the biggest amount available to us, is disappearing. And look at which are the cities going to be. The coastal regions. In India itself, we have Mumbai, we have Khulna around Bangladesh, we have Kolkata also, which will have its impact if that water level increase occurs. So look at the water quantity level in terms of water availability all over. If you go to closer look at, India is also in the red zone. Still further, if you go, global sink, this is of 2018 data, and India has already reached that darker point, which I have shown you in terms of quantity. One case study, as I said, in 19th April 2019, Cape Town had already run out of water. So once in 3 days, they are given 25 liters of water at the tap to collect for their drinking purposes only. The rest they have to buy. So that's the dry run. Look at their water resource, which was mainly in the form of lakes, all shrunk already. Okay, so that's because it's related maximum to climate change factors. So our water resources are under stress. Now I'll give one district within India, mainly the Marathwada region, which are the districts within, sorry, not district, blocks within that district. Okay, look at the scenario. All at the minus level, 5-year average, deficient level. Except 2019, they have received all plus. Now what have they done? Have they conserved that water? No. Send it out. Then next year again we will say, we are facing drought, we are facing drought. So this is the average they had. 399, 334, 687. Now they are 3000 millimeter rainfall. So this was last 3 to 4 years average. Okay, so what has happened to the deficient rainfall? What has happened to their outcome in terms of? But we cannot. We are all water creatures. We have to have our drinking water. This is the scenario in Delhi, New Delhi. Okay, Jal Board is there. We come to the second reason. Second reason is the urbanization. The extended cities that we are formulating. Look at already, we are joining. Calcutta has joined already. So when we talk about urbanized, it is 15 million plus population in cities. So Calcutta has joined. Any other Indian cities? Mumbai is there, Delhi is there. So when we convert urbanized situation, this is our living style also. Isn't it? Everything within the same regions. So any disease breakout is faster here. Isn't it? So urbanized condition. These are our forests to retain water. The urbanized conditions forest. Okay. So now what happens? our demand and supply is not equal. Look at the demand and look at our demand in 2030 going to be. Okay, that much water we will not have. We have in population grown 3 times. Our demand for water has gone 6 times. So what will be the situation? We have filled in the wetland locally, which was supposed to be our water retainer. Calcutta is the only cosmopolitan city that doesn't have a sewage treatment plant, conventional. Because of which it is saving how many crores? I'll show you in the next one. So in 1857 it was established by a Britisher, the largest sewage-fed aquaculture in the world. Okay, so also an example of a wetland ecosystem for sewage treatment. 150 crore per day is our income for the municipality, Kolkata municipality, because they don't have a treatment plant. Who is doing that? The wetland. But what are we doing? Shrinking it, enlarging it into road construction, into urbanized city construction, then finally we say Calcutta is flooded. Okay, so that's the source we are disappearing with. So East Kolkata wetland, which is all these ecosystem services provided to us, it's supposed to stable our groundwater. This is like the sponge or the kidney within our body system. Retains excess water, when we need water supplies back, but that is disappearing. So that's how we get affected by it. So that's one case study. I take you to Andhra, in Dillemma now. Look at their condition. So they have to depend upon the groundwater. Now Calcutta or Chennai was the first city to have groundwater restriction rule. You cannot dig a tube well now. You have to get local municipality permission to give us a tube well digging permission. Earlier we could at will, but now groundwater has gone down, so you need permission. Water acts are there. This story remember, Latur, okay, where water was sent by train. Not to give water straight away. They were put into the well to make it rechargeable for longer, sustainable option of receiving the water. But it was just before the election. They did it for a few days. After that they stopped. That's why in my abstract also I have written. The thirst for vote ban was there, but once vote election is over, they were forgotten. So it stopped. Okay, so that's what I told you. Now we have soft drinks and water coming. Soft drink is cheaper, water is costlier. Yes or no? Anybody takes Coca-Cola, you know. 20 rupees, I put 15 rupees, this is a older price data, now it has gone to 1 liter is 20 rupees, isn't it? So, the next reason, so I said urbanization, the second reason, first reason, global warming and climate change. The third reason is privatization. We are not much into, because Bengal is still giving us free water. Calcutta city is the only city giving us no water bill. Free. Because Ganges is next door. But not the same in other. For Arvind Kejriwal, the election issue for him now is 400 liter water per family. Above 400 liter he is charging. So that also he wants to give freely because it matters for election. So look at water privatization has led to blocking or locking up our own water sources. So you have to buy water from somebody who has locked up your water sources. So who are those two people? Suez International, Vivendi Universal. They have taken our raw water and they have removed the handle of the tube well. They are sending us to the water kiosk to pay $1 and then get the water. Look at the way they are barged into, intruded into with an euphemism. In India it is known as disinvestment, Bolivia capitalization, Vietnam equitization, Sri Lanka peopleization, China ownership reform. Who will oppose these terms? Okay, so the next question is, how safe is our bottled water? Even the bottled water, as far as the study, they said it contains pesticide, depending on the brand. Only 3% of the total bottle that we buy is registered. The rest, 97% are unregistered plant. But we get them as mineral water. They are just tap water, not purified even. Okay, so look at the story, the bottled water story. More than that, who is having the highest growth? Which country? India has the highest growth in bottled water. Which brand? Look at the brand. Parley Bisleri, 40% growth. So what is the economic outcome? Look at. In India, for 1000 liter raw water, you are only paying 14 paisa. But not in other countries. Other countries, look at the amount. So where they will come to? Come to India, almost free. 1000 liter is almost free. So come there, make the water, then how much will you sell it for? Look at the product cost, how much it comes to. 4 rupee, let's say, round off. How much they sell it as to? 20 rupee. 15 no more available. 20 rupee. So per bottle, what is the profit now? 15 rupee. Does the government benefit? No, the individual company benefits. So that is what we are giving to somebody else. That's a transnational corporation story. So it depends on where you buy it. Okay? So if it is chill, if it is airport price, if it is water theme parks, and if it is in the 7-star, 5-star hotels, the prices differ. So where does that money go to? Not to the government, to the respective agency. So you pay. The water that we could have had, okay. So look at the economy. In US, if they have 8 glass tap water, only 49 rupee per year. But if they have 8 glass of bottled water, 1400 per annum. That's their water bill. So these are the interesting data I wanted to tell you. What will be the UK's economy? What will be India's economy? Look at in India's story. How many registered plants we have? 3,300 registered plants. How many unregistered plants we have? 12,000 unregistered plants. 48% are in the south. But south, just now I showed you the map. Do they have water surplus situation or water deficit situation? And how they have gone in there? They have taken away the water. Then how do you say Kaveri doesn't give us water? Mullai Periyar doesn't give water. Okay? So, that's our thing. Look at the distribution of water bottle companies. West Bengal has enough surface water, but lowest in bottled water. But who is leading there? The drought hit states of India, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra. Highest number of farmer suicide is in Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. And where have they sold the water to? Bottle companies. That's the debating point. Okay, so I will move on. 11:15 I will wind up. 11:15. Okay, so look at the income through bottled water. Teacher 20 lakh, engineer 50 lakh, doctor 70 lakh, IAS officer 1 crore, Ramdev Baba now is trying for 20,000 crore, Satya Sai Baba 4,000 crore, but in bottled water we are going to get by 2020 36,000 crore annual income. But not we, the multinational companies will get. So choose your career carefully. Now next, bottled water consumption, we are not going to be lesser than the world. Look at 2010-11, 16.2 liters per person per year. 11-12, 19. 2020 we are going to have 30 liters per person per year. Global average is how much? 40. So we are going to be next to that. So what happened to our water? Raw water, that we got it freely. We have no more trust in that. So we have to buy. Social status it has become. Which bottle you carry in your hand. Whether it is Himalayas, or whether it is Kinley, or whether it is Rail Neer. There also social status matters. Okay, so bottled water economy in India 2020 going to be 36,000 crores. That's what I have told you. Okay, so now what happens to the pollution level, which now central government has come strongly. October 2, Prime Minister is going to announce to the nation that we should be plastic free. So that's how we are going to fill up. Now look at the Coca-Cola story, 2 places. One is in Plachimada in Kerala. They sucked out the agricultural water of the farmers. Luckily, Kerala has educated farmers. They went into the courts, High Court, Supreme Court, they won the case. But it's not happening in every state. Okay, that's one story. Look at the place where they went and sucked the water. In 16 years average, 13 to 42 feet level of water went down. 11 years, almost 40 to 131 feet water went down. For whom? For Coca-Cola. So groundwater, they have sucked it out. This was the developed country story. If you click on Google, you will get Flint water story, where people were filled with lead in their drinking water. Because to treat the river water, Michigan, lake water and give it to them is costly. River directly supplied to them. Depends on what economic background population was there. Afro-American was the population in that area. Then later they found out it had lead in their drinking water. The worst is the plastic phenomena that I showed you. When you have plastic bottle, think about twice. The plastic quality matters. Otherwise they release a particular chemical called the 3 factors here. Mainly it is bisphenol A from the plastic quality, which affects later, mainly in the females, in their puberty, in their birth defects, even related to cancer outcome, mainly from plastic bottle. Okay, so bisphenol A is another impact. That's another health impact. Now I move on to the 4th point, the water war situation. Last year when we had tension with Pakistan, it was not land of Kashmir or Srinagar or Jammu. It was water. The first point the Home Minister said was, Center decides to stop India's share of water flowing to Pakistan. Okay? Now look at the water situation in different parts of the world. Israel is fighting with Lebanon for Wazani River, Turkey for Tigris and Euphrates River, India and Nepal for Mahakali River, India and Bangladesh for Ganges River, Punjab and Haryana for Sil Canal, Tamil Nadu versus Kerala, Bhavani River, Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka, Kaveri River, West Bengal versus Bihar, Tanughat Dam. This is our water situation. Look at Israel and Palestine story. It's not religion story, it is water story.
Radi Sultan has been farming this land for more than 50 years. He remembers the days when rainfall alone was enough to water his vineyards. But in recent years, the summers have been hotter and drier, and his crop has been suffering. So Radi decided to follow an ancient tradition here in the hills of the West Bank, build a water system to collect rainfall all year round. But no sooner did he finish the tank than the Israeli army ordered him to demolish it.
One Sunday they came with 2 bulldozers, 2 jeeps, tens of cars, 50 or 60 soldiers. I tried to reason with them, but to no avail. They beat me, blindfolded me, and had me sit in the jeep while they destroyed the cistern.
All that's left of it now, some broken concrete and some tangled irrigation pipes. Here was a Palestinian trying to help himself, a practical solution to a practical problem. But Israel didn't want that.
Palestinians are not allowed to have any kind of construction in this area without being approved by the Israeli occupation. Of course, approved, that means having a license by the Israeli occupation, and these licenses are never issued.
Once you leave the West Bank and cross into Israel, the picture could hardly be more different. There's no shortage of water here. Israelis quite literally splash it around.
And you'll hardly find a more striking example than this of how Israel squanders water. An ornamental fountain in a park, while Palestinians in the West Bank barely have enough water to drink and to wash.
Okay, so that's the scenario of Israel and Palestine. We come to our own Israel-Pakistan story, Palestine story between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This year there was excessive rainfall. Tamil Nadu has received enough before even they raise the water. But look at that concrete story of Kaveri Water Tribunal, where Prime Minister is the chairman. Look at how much cusack it started with. Okay? How many TMC feet per week? Now how much it is? We will not release, they said. That's our story within India. So now what comes as an option? We cannot rely on the politicians because we don't have the monsoon prediction clear. This year everybody said we'll have surplus monsoon, less monsoon, deficient monsoon, all three opinions came. It's like our Chandrodaya, where it is nobody knows exactly. So, look at, we don't have a supercomputer to forecast to us exactly what will happen. Don't depend upon the politicians. About the politicians, this gentleman said it 70 years ago almost. Power will go to the hands of the rascals, rogues, freebooters. All Indian leaders will be of low caliber. Now they will fight among themselves for power and India will be lost in political squabbles. That's what's happening. A day would come when we are asked to pay pollution control certificate. What is that? We are charged for air. We are charged for water too. Not Bengal, but go to Delhi, go to Tamil Nadu. Water bill is higher than your milk bill in that month. Okay? So, this is a politician story. It's a trickle-down effect. Big projects are allowed, but what reaches is one drop. That drop of water, who enjoy? The politicians enjoy. See, the poor work and work, the rich exploit the first class, the soldier protects both the first class. So the taxpayer pays for all the three, the wanderer rests for all the four, the drunk drinks for all the five above, the banker robs all the six. Remember Chowsky's story? Okay, the lawyer misleads all the seven, the doctor builds all the eight above, the undertaker buries all the nine. Who is happiest person? The politician lives happily on account of all the 10. That's our story. So we cannot expect planning, carrying out the best options from the politician. Look at the wisdom of the Tamil Nadu politicians. They were trying to block the evaporation of the lake with the thermocol sheets. Last year. And this year they said lake has evaporated because the thermocol did not work. Okay? And look at, so this is the further photo, where all they are floating it up. But Punjab, the 5 rivers were magically present. They are covering their canal with solar panels to avoid evaporation of water. In summer at least. Okay. That's another success story. The next success story is rainwater harvesting structures. Remember that Rajendra Singh converted the whole district, Alwar district, into a perennial river system with that 800 millimeter rainfall every year. Why not? We cannot conserve that. So, rainwater harvesting, the success story is Tarun Bharat Sangh by Rajendra Singh. Last 2 years he has come here. So for us we need awareness. Tamil Nadu had taken up very seriously the rainwater structure when you build a new house. And if you want a ration card, you have to have a rainwater harvesting structure. So they succeeded in their water table. They achieved 20 feet higher in water table height. So rainwater harvesting is coming up very strongly because our water problem is also the hunger problem. Out of 113 countries, we are 100th position in hunger index, global hunger index. The highest share goes in agriculture. So what is one option? Look at the present scenario, look at the 2030 scenario. Our availability and withdrawal not going to match with our availability. So what is our option? You have to change our way of cultivation. The sugarcane consumes largest amount of water. Okay, but where they are cultivating? In the drought hit states of Maharashtra. Okay, so we have to change our ways. Go for another method of dry irrigation practices or even for drip irrigation. Israel first found the drip irrigation system. They got their Nobel Prize for that. So drip irrigation, which will not waste excess water, this is our story. Look at it. Even the developed countries, 28% in London, treated water is lost by leakage. Go to India, 43%. So what happens to the amount spent for this 43%? Then we say no water. Okay. This is the Park Circus 7 crossing that I took a picture. This is in Baraipur. Arsenic treated water going. Oh, they are enjoying, you see. This is again in the Sham Bazar area, one of the slum area. Okay, so this is our story. This is in the next door we have Auckland Square where the water is collected. Okay, so that's one dripping tap alone. If they are contained, 1 billion people can get drinking water. We cannot complain about water. Okay, so if Delhi repairs 90% of its leaking pipes, 200 liter per person per day can be achieved for all the residents. Not happening. Lack of will. That's why I put that question. Where is the will? Look at our wastewater. What is the scenario? Municipal water consumption, only 3% is recycled. Municipal wastewater, 8%. So together, 8% only recycled. What happens to the overall water? Our wastewater source. So we'll have to promote water stewardship. This is one of the pictures I took in Brussels airport, where they have gone for dry urinals. They have put there also how many liters of water per year they are saving. 250,000 liters of water per urinal they are saving. There's another picture in London last year I took next to the Thames River, waterless urinals. Then they said, okay, they said we have to, this is of Japanese people, when they are using the wastewater, goes into the flush system, then that goes for flush tank. This is another one I found in, where is that place? Newark State, New Jersey. When I went to the restroom in a hotel, see here they have put a water meter. They are charged as per the usage of water. If you charge people as per the ferrule size, people will start using the water rationally. When anything free is the tragedy of the common story, isn't it? So, this is in Tamil Nadu. One water tank is of 5,000 rupees now. You have to buy. For marriages, it's bulk booking. Now, this is one where I was in the University of Philadelphia. They have put this, look at the number of count here. Okay, so instead of using bottled water, this is the filter which is there. You can put your own bottle and collect the water. So the count will change there. You see, they will say, by collecting this water, so many bottles you have changed. See that? Look at the count here. So many water bottles, plastic bottles we have changed. We have reduced the burden on you. Okay, so that's one way. So my plan is the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. So that our politicians are good at that. But my inspiration is always from the son of the soil who said, you make your mark, you leave your mark. So that's how I promote little bit of water conservation stories. Our education is to bring the value of things, not the price of things. We don't bother about the audience, size of the audience. We want to remain unique, and that's how we taken the first lecture here for the water conservation measures under the central government initiatives. The nature continues to nurture us. Be useless, save more, advocate always, and let the goodness within us always be there. So that's the point I want to end up with.
Bien trop précieux pour être gaspillé.
So let that goodness within us remain. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Father, for such an inspiring lecture which is steeped with knowledge and awareness. Now I will keep this proceedings open for questions from the House.
Please ask. Because silent means I was not clear enough. Please.
Any suggestion regarding what should we do at individual level?
The conservation aspect has to come into our hearts, which is now lacking. Anything free is wastable. That's the idea. First it has come. When we understand the importance is when it is not there. When it is there, we don't know. Like even in our house, when the water is there, we leave it open. But there is no water, everybody makes noise. There is no water, there is no water. So water reality is something, only when it is not there, give us the importance. But we must develop within us, when it is there too, we must conserve. I gave you both the side of it. Say in Marathwada district, you see, this year they had excessive rainfall, but they have not taken any step to conserve the water. Goa and Maharashtra was considered as the dry states in the country. Now this year they had excessive rainfall. What has happened? Okay. So the consciousness to conserve has to come. That's for this lecture on the terms of awareness. How many of us know that we are going through water shortage? Everybody thinks water is plenty. Also, I didn't talk about the interlinking of rivers in India, the topmost area to the peninsular region. That's a separate subject itself. It will take another 30 minutes of lecture. So, but that's a controversial point too. It was only highlighted by a particular government as an election promise. Later when it ventured into, it was not feasible there. Maybe within the topmost northern regions possible, but in some side you have to change the flow of river itself, which is going to be against the natural phenomena. So that's another point, linking of rivers. But what they can do is in the peninsular region, where the flow is gravitational. You don't need to change the flow of the river above or around. So it's peninsular area, mainly in the southern parts of the country. There is a possibility, and Andhra has shown the way. Krishna and Godavari is already sharing the water resources. This year to Tamil Nadu, Krishna gave the excess water to Tamil Nadu, one particular river. Yes, sir.
Make in the mind of the people, especially, I don't say the Calcutta-wise joke, but my feeling is, don't you think there is already a myth in our mind? I don't know whether it is appropriate to say it here, that this is impure water, this is pure water. For example, when you practice in religion, something which is offered is pure, something which is after offering comes to you becomes impure. For example, I have noticed in my household that the concept of dushito jal or povitra jal, the concept of becoming good or bad, and that, don't you think it is an hindrance to the water conservation policy of India, which my submission would be, the mind of the people needs to be educated on water resource conservation.
Only awareness can help, nothing else. And therefore this year already the third year boys have come and said that we should conscientize people on climate change and water disasters. So in January end, we are going to bring schools from Calcutta, within Calcutta, both Bengali medium and English medium, to give them that knowledge about global warming, climate change and water. So these three dimensions, they come to know, we will achieve at least 1% of awareness. That 1% for us is quite 1 million liters. As I said, one example of that, conserving the water, plugging the hole. In Delhi itself, they can get added 100 liters per person. But it's not happening. Where is the willpower? So thank you. I did my best to give you the latest data. I did my research analysis yesterday whole day. Last night worked on it till 1:30. This morning I had already Ayan Maharaj coming, so I never had any time. But hopefully I was informative enough to give you the idea to the topic that where is our will, where is the debating point, where it is a dilemma point. Both I have highlighted. Okay? Thank you so much to Shashwati for making me speaking to you. Okay. Thank you.
Now request of
And it's also part of the Jal Shakti Awareness Week lecture, since it has come from IQAC as an awareness point too.
So it was an excellent talk by Father Xavier as always. It is not only informative, but I feel it has made us stand in front of a mirror. So I hope we'll get the inspiration and try to save water or reuse water in our own little way. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And 0.9 we cannot bear. 1.2 we have crossed.